Hey, Emma.
Hello.
Kareem!
Hi. Hi guys.
How's quarantine treating you guys?
Boring.
Pretty boring, yeah.
Hey, do you guys want to plan a trip for when we get done? I know we need it.
We need to head
Yeah.
back to Australia.
Yes, we should. Where are you guys thinking? There's a bunch of like super cool national parks. Are you guys feeling passionate about any of them?
I actually heard that the Blue Mountains were amazing, and I think that we should go there. I also made a video on it because I was so excited about it.
Oh my god, I also made a video about it.
No
My
way.
friend actually went while she was there, a couple months ago, and so she took some dope footage for me.
Wow.
Wow. I also made a video on it.
No.
So
Okay, I feel like we should watch each other's videos. Emma, what was yours about?
Mine was on the history and the significance of the park. What was yours on?
Mine was over the ecological issues and mitigations.
whoa.
And how about you?
So mine was on the geography and how that geography plays a part into the social management issues in the community.
That sounds complex. All
I'm
right,
excited to watch your videos.
yeah, let's do it.
Around 1 million years ago, the vast 10,000 square kilometer Blue Mountains were formed and to this day are deeply significant to the history and people of Australia. For those who had the opportunity to see the Blue Mountains, they may have noticed the distinctive blue haze that surrounds the 10,000 square kilometer area. This is how the Blue Mountains got their name. The first people to inhabit the Blue Mountains were the Aboriginal people. Then, in 1788, the British arrived and started to explore all the way up into the Blue Mountains. The area was at first thought to be impassable by people, but soon this barrier was beaten, especially with the teamwork of William Cox and two Aboriginal men. They were able to build a road through the mountains, and then when the gold rush happened and the mountains were a popular path to take, a railway project got underway through the area. Today, the Blue Mountains roads are the original paths made by the Aboriginal people and then by the colonial men. Even with farming and industry that sprouted up at that time, the heart of the Blue Mountains remains mostly untouched and people can still enjoy it today. In the year 2000, the Greater Blue Mountains area became a World Heritage Site thanks to 70 years of campaigning by conservationists. When the British came, they brought disease and war, which wiped out a lot of the Aboriginal population. The connection and importance of this land to the Aboriginal people is important to conserve not only for them but also for the history of the land. All throughout the Greater Blue Mountains, you can see signs of Aboriginal people, even in the deepest parts of the wilderness. The area protects 700 known places of Aboriginal significance and helps to preserve the connections that involve culture, family, community, knowledge, art, and so much more. The area, plants, and animals are all connected to the people and culture, and this is something that is important to preserve for the generations to come. The Blue Mountains is also known for the abundance of eucalypts. Globally, this factor is important to the world and a big reason that the area was significant enough to become a World Heritage Area. A World Heritage Area is a place that is deemed important to all humanity. Other examples of World Heritage Areas in Australia would be places such as the Great Barrier Reef and Shark Bay. There are over 100 different types of eucalypts in the Blue Mountains area, and also many different kinds of animal and plant species, some of which are threatened. This World Heritage Area is extremely important to many people, animals, and plants, and will continue to be a vital part of Australia's history and culture so long as it is properly protected and cared for.
The crazy thing about the Blue Mountains is the rocks tell it each its own story. Every area is a little bit different and has its unique perspective. But also the community has its unique perspective on the way the mountains have affected their lives. So let's take the Prince Henry Cliff Walk and let's learn a little bit about what it is that makes up the Blue Mountains, but also how that affects everybody around it. So if you look at the bottom of the rocks, they are marine sediments typically that could have been created over 470 million years ago. The geography can be kind of explained through two things: water and gravity. If you look at the water that goes there that is brought down by gravity, shapes the rocks and shapes the areas. And it creates these harsh cliffs because this isn't your typical case of erosion. The Blue Mountains are comprised of different types of rocks, including sandstone, shales, and coals. While the sandstone appears strong, the shales and coals under it are not. So pieces break off, creating these large cliffs that are rigid and not as smooth. You can see this if you were looking over a large cliff and you go even look down under, there's more history, with the basement rock at the bottom, which then transfers to the shales and coals. And then above all that will be the dense sandstone. This was created and comprised through volcanic activity and also additional water sediments, all making these areas as beautiful as they are today and creating these stunning areas and stunning lookouts and views such as the Three Sisters, Echo Point, and others. Other sources of erosion include fires, which the remnants you might be seeing over there. This erodes sandstone, and also affects the local environment. But we also see there being additional problems and other things being eroded, such as the local community. The local community right now has many different issues because it feels so isolated due to the largeness of the mountains. Right now, 66% of young men aged 16 to 24 years consume alcohol at risky levels and 51% at high risk levels, which are significantly higher than New South Wales averages and really show how secluded many people feel within the area. In addition to this, most people do leave the Blue Mountains for work. However, the businesses which are there, 80% of sector services reported being unable to fully meet demand, which means that the large amount of tourists are overwhelming the businesses. And so with that, they're not able to really feed everybody or give everybody an equal shot. And sadly, those that are targeting low income people and are meant to help people with low income are least likely to meet demand, which means right now, those who are low income within the Blue Mountains areas cannot get the resources which they need. So this area, which is largely secluded, has this stunning geography, but also that seclusion makes it really hard for people of different backgrounds to get the resources they need. Thank you.
The ecology of the Blue Mountains is absolutely astounding. The area is filled with some of the most stunning plant populations. However, the most significant are the native eucalyptus trees which cover the mountains. They create the blue-tinted atmosphere that gives the area its name. The dispersed droplets of oil from the eucalyptus trees combine with the water vapor and dust in the atmosphere, creating a blue glow over the area. The native animals in and around the area are equally important. Native animals include the koala, squirrel glider, brush-tailed rock wallaby, and water skink. The bird species in the Blue Mountains account for a third of Australia's bird species. The eastern snake-necked turtle is likely the most notable, as it is the only turtle species in the area. All of these local species are essential to the ecology of the Blue Mountains. The Blue Mountains is also affected by invasive and introduced species. These species include the spotted turtle dove, red-whiskered bulbul, common myna, fox, rabbit, feral pig, wild dog, and feral cat. The feral cat, fox, and wild dog are all natural predators that prey on gray kangaroos and native birds. There are several plant species that are critically endangered, or vulnerable. Among the plant species that are critically endangered are the Wallamai pine, Megalong Valley bottlebrush, and slaty leek orchid. Endangered and threatened flora include several species of wattle and gum trees. Several species of geebung and pomaderra shrubs are also either endangered or threatened. There are also several animal species that are critically endangered, or vulnerable. The smoky mouse and regent honeyeater are both critically endangered. Endangered species include the bush wallaby, swift parrot, and several species of frogs, such as the stuttering frog and the giant barred frog. There are several vulnerable animals, including the koala and many species of bats, owls, eagles, cockatoos, robins, and frogs. With the recent wildfires, there has been a significant decrease of kangaroos, wallabies, possums, insects, and marsupials. The loss of vegetation displaced several species, decreased the amount of refuge areas for prey, and destroyed nesting sites for birds. It will be hard for species in the Blue Mountains to find food following these fires. According to projecting, it will take decades to centuries for these wildlife populations to recover. The National Park and Wildlife Services, or NPWS, carries out a variety of programs in order to address ecological issues. The NPWS monitors and protects threatened and endangered species. Invasive species such as blackberry and the feral pig are also managed by the NPWS. The NPWS also looks after historic and aboriginal sites, mitigates human impacts, and helps to control wildfires. In order to manage pests and weeds, the NPWS has developed and implemented regional pest management strategies and threat abatement plans for specific animals. It has also created and enacted native species recovery programs, completed research to ensure threatened species are protected, and educated community members about these species and strategies.
Hi guys.
Those videos are so cool. I'm so excited to go.
Oh my god, I loved your guys' videos.
Well, I guess next thing we should start planning a trip. How's that
Yeah.
sound?
Yeah, we can take a good old bus ride up to Katoomba and make it back after this whole quarantine.
Oh my gosh, that sounds fantastic.
That would be great.
Well, my dad said it's time for dinner, so I gotta go. Have a great rest of your day, guys.
Bye. Can't wait for our trip.
See you in Australia.
See you in Australia.